So, if you've been glued to the housing market, you are probably gearing up for a pretty quiet end to the year. But then, this fall, the market went and did something, well, something pretty much nobody saw coming. It created what some are calling a sneaky good season for homebuyers. So what in the world just happened? Let's dig in.
I mean, it's the question on everyone's mind, right? Is it a good time to buy a house? After years of this complete roller coaster, sky-high prices, crazy interest rates, just trying to figure out when to make a move feels almost impossible. The signals have been confusing, to say the very least.
But yeah, just when we all thought the market was basically packing it in for its long winter nap, the data from this past October told a totally different story. All of a sudden, a little window of opportunity opened up that almost no one expected.
So, let's get into what made this fall so sneaky good. We're going to look at how the market completely defied expectations right when it's supposed to be slowing down.
This slide really lays it all out perfectly. We were in what's called the shoulder season. You know, that time between the summer frenzy and the holiday lull, where everything normally just cools off. But this year, the exact opposite happened. Buyers and sellers both got some much-needed relief, and things actually started to pick up steam.
So you're probably asking, what caused this sudden turnaround? Well, it really all boils down to the numbers. A couple of key pieces of data came together to create this sudden thaw in the market.
And it all started right here. The average 30-year mortgage rate dipped to 6.25%. Now, I know what you're thinking, that still sounds kind of high, and you're not wrong. But it was the lowest it had been in over a year, and that tiny bit of breathing room was apparently all the market needed to start moving again.
And look, that drop in the rate wasn't just some abstract number. It had a real impact on people's wallets. The actual mortgage payment fell by 1.8% compared to last year. And for anyone trying to budget for a house, believe me, even a small drop like that makes a huge difference. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a little blip on the radar. No way. This was the single biggest improvement in affordability we have seen in 3 years. For buyers who have been stretched to their absolute financial limit, this was a genuine sigh of relief. So what happens when things get just a little bit cheaper? Boom. People jump back into the market. We saw both new listings from sellers and accepted offers from buyers shoot up by 5%. It just goes to show you, there is a ton of pent-up demand on both sides, just waiting for the conditions to be right.
Now, of course, this little burst of activity wasn't happening everywhere all at once. Some cities saw a way bigger surge than others. Let's take a quick look at where things were really heating up.
Whoa, okay, so the Southeast was absolutely on fire. Florida especially saw a crazy amount of activity, and just look at Tampa. Not only did they lead in new listings, but their pending sales went through the roof, jumping an incredible 38.5%. That's not just a jump, that's a rocket launch.
Another big piece of the puzzle was that inventory. Well, it got a little bit better. This chart shows that even though we're still about 17% below where we were before the pandemic, that is a huge improvement from the 51% hole we were in back in February of 2022. We're moving in the right direction, but we're not out of the woods yet. And that brings us to the big but. Because, and you knew there was a but coming, right? All of this good news comes with a major, major catch. There's this massive ongoing hurdle that's still defining the entire housing market. This right here, this is the core of the problem. Even with that recent bit of relief, a family earning the median income still has to spend nearly a third of their money, 33%, just on their mortgage payment. Think about that. That is a massive financial strain.
Let's put some real dollars to that percentage, because it's a lot. We're talking about a median home price of over $362,000. A 20% down payment on that is about $72,000. For most people trying to save up that much cash while also getting ready for a payment that eats up a third of your income, it's an incredibly steep mountain to climb. All right, so this brings us to the million-dollar question. Was this sneaky good fall just a fluke, a little warm-up before things get cold again? Or is this the start of something new? Let's see what the experts think might be coming next. According to Zillow senior economist Karen Ng, the market's reaction proved one thing loud and clear. Buyers are ready and waiting. They're coiled like a spring, just eager to make offers the second things get even a little bit more affordable.
But here comes the reality check. Winter is coming, literally. And with it could come a lot of volatility with mortgage rates, which could wipe out all the gains we just saw. That little window could slam shut just as quickly as it opened.
And that same expert, Karen Ng, puts it very bluntly, and I quote,
this warm-up is not guaranteed to last. The takeaway here is pretty stark. For anyone out there looking to buy, this moment of relief might be a short one.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. What's the bottom line? This fall, we saw this rare little window open up for home buyers. It was all fueled by slightly better mortgage rates and more houses hitting the market. But, and it's a big but, the huge overarching problem of affordability is still there, making the future really, really uncertain.
And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. Was this fall just a brief thaw in the middle of a long, cold housing winter? Or could it be the first real sign that the seasons are finally about to change?